This is a Gizmo's freeware tutorial on how to add a new product entry to the quick selection section of your reviews. So this is a question that often comes up when you have been working on your reviews for a while and you add in another product. You add in a new product into the discussion section, and then you need to add in the quick selection guide or the product summaries in here. Here I have 3. What if you want to add another one in? It's not really easy to do, and you can't do it from the what you see is what you can get view of the online editor. What we're going to be looking at in this tutorial is how to add in another quick selection guide between PureSync and Free File Sync. We're going to put it in right in between, and it's going to be on the product called OneSync, which actually is a product I recently ran across and is quite good. So to do this, we will go into the edit view, obviously, of our online editor, and we're going to scroll down to the quick selection guide section. Here's the quick selection guide. So now once again we're going to be putting OneSync and its product summary right in between these two sections. So what we want to do is we want to find this section in the source view, and if we look at the source view, it's not exactly obvious where all of these things appear in here. It just looks like a mess. Now if you know the HTML and you're familiar already with how everything is laid out in there, it's not too bad. But I even use this little trick to quickly find what I'm looking for. And I've showed this several times in other tutorials, but I'll just find the section that I want to refer to, such as right here with the quick selection guide. I'll just put my cursor there and I'll type in the words "find me." And then I'll bring up my browser's search or find utility. This is Firefox, and I'll type in the words "find me." Oops, excuse me. We need to do this while we're in the source view. So click on source and then click find me, and we'll find it in the source. So we'll go ahead and delete that now that we know where we're at, so we don't forget to delete it. And we'll see, here's the quick selection guide. This is the beginning of it, and then underneath that we have the product details. Remember, we were going to add our OneSync between PureSync and Free File Sync, and quite conveniently here, each section of the quick selection guide begins and ends with a marker that looks like this. It'll have the angle bracket or the greater than, less than signs on the beginning and the end. The beginning will have the bracket, an exclamation point, and 2 hyphens, and it'll always end with 2 hyphens and the other bracket. And then this will have the name of the product in between, or on some of the reviews sometimes you'll find that the product names weren't put in, and instead you'll have just something that reads product number 1, and so you'll look for the beginning of product number 1 and then the end of product number 1. In this case we're looking for the end of PureSync. So we'll scroll down really slow, and we'll be looking for the end marker, and there it is right here, end PureSync. So if you scroll too fast it'll go by and you won't be able to see it very easy. So scroll slowly and you'll be able to spot it. So there's the end of the PureSync details and the beginning of the Free File Sync details. Right here in that space is where we'll put our new details. And this is just really easy. Once we found this spot, then we'll go over to the create details script on the URL trim site, and that'll pop up on the screen, so you'll be able to copy that down. We've covered that in other tutorials. Then you'll fill in your software details, the software title, the anchor name, which is usually just the title once again, version, the links, the license type, and so on. And then down here in the pros and cons, you can add in the pros and cons here, or you can actually wait to add them in later. You'll be able to type those in later. You don't actually have to add those now. But if there is any other relevant info, if you don't type anything in this box, then the script doesn't actually create this field. So if you are planning on adding relevant info, as it were, then you don't really need to type it here, but you need to type something in this box. I'll put something in this box. You can just put a period in there. And then that field will be created. Once you've got this all filled in, then you just click on the Create Details from Form button down here in the corner. Don't accidentally click any of the others, or your form will you'll get the wrong code down here. Then the code that you need, which is created from the form up above, will be generated below. You just click in that, hit Control A to select it all, and Control C to copy it. Simply come back over here, and our cursor is still right there, flashing in between those two markers, and we'll just press Control V, and we'll actually see then that it's pasted in the details for OneSync. And you can see it created the end marker, and if we scroll back up here, it created the beginning marker. So now if we go back to the What You See Is What You Get view, scroll down there, we'll see that the OneSync details have been put in. Pretty simple actually, and we'll preview that. There you go. And I want to show you one more thing that isn't really related to this, but I haven't really covered it in any of the other tutorials. I'm lost here. Go back down to the editor, and I want to show you that each one of the sections of your discussion or your reviews, the name of the product is linked down to the name of the product in the quick selection guide, and there's a little anchor symbol right next to it, which is in the form when you put in the anchor name is what you use to link your product. Now I actually haven't put in the review for OneSync yet here, as you can see. But the way you link this is you would select your title here of your product, and then go up to Insert Edit Link. And under link type, you have you can do a URL, or you can link to an anchor in the text. In this case, that's what you want to do. You link to an anchor in the text. And this one, of course, is linked to Free File Sync, but if it was the OneSync review, then there's the anchor for OneSync, or whatever we called it when we created it in the form. And so we click on that, and then when somebody clicks on the title of our review or the program name, it'll jump down to the quick selection guide. So that's how you use those anchors. So whenever you add in a quick selection guide, make sure that you go up to your review and you make that connection between those two sections. Okay, that ends this tutorial on how to add a new section to the quick selection guide.